Good morning, all. Camelback Trading 2724 and the pitfuturestrading.com. Coming to you this Tuesday morning, January 14th, looking at the last 3 days of the market profile of the SPY ETF. And after going out yesterday, trend day up, price spike and price probe, right now the bulls are attempting to hold both the spike and the probe to make all-time highs. Our all-time high again is in the overnight from last night. I just want to go over real quickly price probe and the price spike. Trading is an art. It's not a science. So the way I interpret things or do things certainly are different from other people. But let me explain how I do it and why I do it that way. So yesterday's price spike to me can only happen in J, K, or L later in the afternoon when you take out either the high or low of the day. If you close above where that other high was that you took out, then the price spike is accepted. If you close below it, it's already rejected because we had other time frames to see if it's accepted or rejected or not. A price probe can only happen in the last time frame when you make a new high or low, because the market's probing, but you won't know to the next day a time frame, at least in the SPY. ES might be different because you trade a whole period and end. But you won't know in the SPY until the following day. Like now, we're opening in the middle of the price probe. So you could say it's being accepted. There's still an hour to go. If it had opened down here, it would be rejected. Now, yesterday's price spike and probe were really at similar prices, so there's not much of a difference. Well, I'm going to go to the 6th. Hopefully, this makes it a little clearer for you. So on January 6th, right, we were one time framing up basically most of the day. The high of the day at the time was I. J period took out I's high, right? Some 2, 2:30, and 3. Those 3 time frames, I could have a price spike in my book. So when J took out I's high, that's your price spike. If we closed down here, it wouldn't have mattered for the most part. But not only didn't we close below it, M then probed higher. So your price probe was L's high, the base of it, and your price spike was I's high. And they would, they're like 50 cents apart. So that's 2 areas where there were buyers. A lot of times with a price spike, you'll have single prints, which are even more important because that means you didn't even come down and test the base of the price spike after you made it, as opposed to like here where L got below it for a minute. So I hope that clears it up a little bit. Okay, so let's go over what to do. Destinations, you should have them. We'll give them to you. Upside right now is yesterday's high of 327.96. And then my overnight high is 328.69. That's the overnight all-time high. For the downside, now we have the price probe first, which is 327.61, which is L's high. And then we have the price spike. Again, they're very close, 327.55, which was F's high. So basically, they're right near each other on this one. So if it's going to be supported, you should have buyers right there. If you open below it and can't get above it, well, then they're rejected. And I'd use that more as a level of resistance than support. And I hate using those words, but I'm just trying to put it in kind of plain English. If those are rejected, your next destination should be your afternoon pullback low of 327.13. Since we were only 7 wide, right? I want 9 or more wide for that to be a real reference point or destination for a POC. I'm not going to discount what we have, but as a reference point. Below that, then, we have the single print. We had the trend day, very small, 326.75, gets filled at 72, and then yesterday's low of 325.92. So game plan for this morning. Well, there's still just over an hour to go. I know there's earnings coming out. I think a bunch are out, but probably more come out right now at 8:30 and whatnot. So you could get some movement. If we're to open below the price spike and the price probe, in balance, in value, I'm basically going to wait for more market-generated information, because you could basically chop between then the top of where those were and your afternoon pullback low. Okay? And that's not much of a range. You're talking about like a 40, 50 cent range. So you could get some chop inside of there. I mean, you could certainly take a buy position here and ride it back up to there. But again, if that, I'd rather be a buyer closer to value low from yesterday where the single prints were than at the afternoon pullback low. But it depends on how much heat you want to take. Same thing if we're to open right above. Again, you can take a call position. If you get below the price probe and the price spike, you can get out. At least you know you're out if you open above it and then come below it. If you hold it, the odds are you should take out yesterday's high and then go for the overnight all-time high. As far as a put play, again, right above here, I would not take one. If we're to go up, fail at yesterday's high, and then come back down and get below those, then I would look to take one, because then odds are you're going to go down to POC and possibly the single print. I'm sorry, not POC, the afternoon pullback low, and then the single print. But again, any trade in value, in balance, the risk reward is not the best. Okay, keep that in mind. So you could certainly wait for more market generated information to form in A and B period. And then just quickly, chart-wise, we'll look at the weekly and the daily. Weekly, I have it balanced to up. We're only one day into this week. We want to see if we get away from these last 3 weeks, specifically last week's high, and continue to go higher, or we're going to come back in and have a 4-week balance. And the daily, again, we were in balance for 2 days. We were up yesterday, but I'm still calling it balanced to up. For the bulls, you want to get above yesterday's high and get some distance away from it. If you're a bear, you want to stay at least inside of it to keep it in balance before you try to turn this to the downside. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.